In the past, you were the artist, and for all the other things, there were people that did that for you. Nowadays, the artist is supposed to do it all themselves.
Today on Time We Discuss, I have Isabelle and Corinna with me. Thank you for joining me today, ladies.
Yeah, thank you for having us, Dan.
So when it comes to, say, a day you're going to perform, what is that typically like? Are you performing several days consecutively? Are you traveling much? What does that look like for you?
We are performing with our own music, like karaoke version. We recorded everything, we wrote everything, then we gave it to professionals to re-record, and then we have it without vocals in the background. So on a typical performance, we have our speaker system and our system set up and our nice mics, and so we'll drive wherever and we set it up, and we have been performing around Los Angeles only. We haven't been touring or
in Germany
when we do visit Germany. This is something that we see in the future, but for now it was in the LA area. On a day of a performance, we meet early. We make sure we have everything together. We rehearse.
You talked about recording the music. You did kind of like I'm going to call it like a rough cut, and then you sent it off to be, I don't know if it was re-recorded, I think you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So how much of a rough cut do you have to send them? Is it like just an acoustic guitar and then they orchestrate it as well? Or what does that actually look like for you?
The only reason why it needs to be re-recorded is because we are recording in the room, and we don't have a recording studio, so there's background noises. Also, we record everything on a keyboard. So we record a bass on a keyboard, we record strings on a keyboard,
or drums.
You do that more. But so we do all the instruments on a keyboard, and we don't play them. So we have it be replayed by the professional. When I record, I am very particular. I have a program that's not MIDI, and I don't know if that means anything to you, but
it does.
Where if I have a note not on time, I have to manually move it. And I was recording yesterday, and I was thinking, there is a part of me that must really like to go down into detail and move them myself. Because I spend a lot of time on that, but something in me must enjoy it because I haven't changed my system, and I think that would probably speed up things, but there's this part of me that enjoys like really being hands-on. When I was younger and I was writing, because this is when I started to write with like 8, right? We started to perform when we were 8 years old, but then we started to write lyrics, but we would take other people's songs and just write our own in German, Most of the time there were English songs and we wanted to be able to sing something that makes sense for us, so we made it German. But then when English lyrics came through, they were always channeled. So I feel very grateful that I wasn't trying anything ever. It was just coming through. But nowadays I'm still channeling, but it's different because I have an awareness of that my words are creators. So I used to use certain words. Like I remember at the beginning, when I was with this band and we had written 28 songs, and I had a friend's mother reading the lyrics, and she says, "Do you know that every song has the word fear in it?" And I said, "It does." And I really didn't notice. Where now my songs, or yours either, you don't really write the word fear in a song, because with every word having a frequency attached, I'd rather write everything that goes around that word on the other side. So like fear, let's say fear is the non-moving darkness, let's call it, whatever. So then I rather write, I'm always safe, I will get where I need to go. I don't know, whatever that fear may be, I don't use that anymore, where I used to write about that. And I do think that everything serves its purpose. So there are these songs where people are talking about heartbreak and fear and not getting where they want to go. And these are with reason. They help those that are attracted to it. But what we do nowadays is very much about all support. If it's in the background and you're not even listening to it, you will not subconsciously hear fear. You will just hear support.
Talking about all of this positivity, do you ever find yourself writing songs that explore the sadder side? I don't want to say darker side, but like the sadder side of things, or is all of your music more of a positive, uplifting finding good and bad kind of, did the lyrics kind of follow those trends?
My answer to this would be no. No more darkness, no more sad songs. There is so much to choose from. There's the majority of this, I feel, is already there. I don't need to add to this. I'm going to do something that is outside of this. I know there are many other people that feel the same. So I'm just going to go with the new wave of, hey, let's do the supportive stuff. And if you want to cry, there's already a lot to choose from. There's already a lot if you want to go dark. Yeah. Okay, now my answer is that I am, as we are saying, authentic writing, very influenced by my experience of life at the moment. So this year, last year actually, and then going into the first 3 months of this year, I had depression. I'm not a depressed person. I'm actually like somebody that in general, if you know me, you will consider me one of the most positive people you ever meet, because I do find the positive in situations always. And I always, my question is, where's the love? Where's the love? And if I don't feel centered, then I generally can find it. But in this time of depression, which really was very new to me, we were in Germany, and we're German, right? And we were at our mother's house, and she has a piano. And I had it before that every time we visit, I end up sitting on that piano and I write a song that's now, a song related to the fact that I am in Germany, and I get inspired in a different way. So that time, being so depressed, my mom was like, what's the matter with you? You sleep so much. And I just thought, yeah, I have to, because I don't know what else to do with my life. But so there was this moment where nobody was there. Oh, I felt so disconnected. So I sat on the piano, and there's a melody that came, and that melody made me feel something. It made me feel something I haven't felt for so long at that time, and also this connection to something greater, and this connection to this music that flows through me and really makes me feel so alive that I couldn't feel this for so many months. So I'm writing this melody, and then words came, and I wrote and I sing the words, and I'm recording myself, and I'm crying on my recording even. um that song is called Coming Closer, and it's actually, I showed it to some friends now, and they're like, oh my God, it's so good, and it's so real and so raw, and it's not at all like you, and it's, and it's like, so this song I think will be quite successful. And I was thinking about this. Why is it that a song that now everyone that heard it said, oh, it's so good, it's so good? Why is depression creating something so good? And I think it's harder to relate to the happy, because a lot of us feel like, oh, life is hard, and I'm doing things I don't want to do, and I just don't, my dreams will never come true, whatever these thoughts are that make depression more relatable.
How has your education impacted your ability to write music? Are you formally trained as musicians? Did you go to school for music? Is it a hobby you just picked up on, loved it, and developed it? What did that look like for you?
Music was huge in our house. I mean, like, seriously, it was like the first thing, whoever gets up turns on the radio, and that will be on until somebody's watching TV or until we go to bed. So this was always happening. And when he came home at night, we would sit together for dinner, and I don't know how many times it happened that he'd be like, this is a good song, turn it up. I was closest, so I went and turned it up, and he would get up and ask our mom or just ask us, and we go in the living room, we dance, and the song's over, and we sing, and then sit back down and continue eating. It really happened that way, which sounds to me like, every time I tell this, I'm like, I lived in a movie, like a fun music movie, or musical, if you wish. This introduction to music already opened our world in a very unusual and very supportive way. So we had a few singing lessons, because we started to sing in front of audiences when we were little, when we were 8, in our hometown. We came from a small town, and so on special occasions we would always perform, because we were the twins and we have these nice harmonies. Our mother taught us all the harmonies, and so we were really good with complimenting each other, and we have such similar voices. And so we had a few classes, vocal, but then generally I would say we didn't get to where we are through education. As a matter of fact, we have some friends that went to school for a music school, and they compliment our songwriting to say, oh my God, would never even thought of doing that, because and I'm
outside of the norm.
Yeah, I believe in a music school, you're being taught, and it is a certain existence. This is how it goes. This is where you're going to be to write. And because we didn't have that, we start writing things that our music friends are like, whoa, you know, and that shows to me, uh, not to down the schooling, because everything is pure perfection and everyone has their way with reason. But we didn't have that path, and I think that allows us to write in a way that is not necessarily the most usual way to write. I don't think anybody could ever learn something that isn't for some sort of benefit. Okay, there is whatever it is, and even if it's completely different, I cannot say that I ever learned anything that was for nothing. There is a reason, and I can use it at some point. This might not be obvious at first, but my education is in business, and so I did the office job and administrative. There is definitely a lot of those things that I learned in school that we are benefiting from now. Oh,
right. Let me hang on that. So, you know, I would argue that the music industry is just as or even more of a business now than it was 30, 40, 50 years ago, whatever. So how has your business training affected your ability to market your music, for lack of better words?
Thank God for Isabel's business training, because I don't have it and we would be lost. Well, it saved a lot of money, yeah, because then I was able to do a lot of things that we in the past there were a lot of people that you as an artist, I would say you were the artist, and for all the other things there were people that did that for you. Nowadays the artist is supposed to do it all themselves. There is not that much where people come to help. Of course, yes, they can, but it becomes a really a very expensive thing. So all the things that I learned, how what to pay attention to, organizational or also computer-based things, that we benefited from that. Yes, thank God. We were doing our own. We did a lot of our own music videos. All the lyric videos we did ourselves. We the website is all on us. So many things that in the past you would have had to hire somebody, or maybe we would have had to hire if there wasn't so much background on that.
I actually had an opportunity to look at some of the music videos prior to our conversation. How important is it, do you think, to have music videos in this day of age? I remember growing up as a kid, we had, MTV and VH1 and all of those, but and I'm kind of out of that scene now, so I don't know if they even still exist now, but how important are music videos now with like YouTube or things like that?
That's a really good question, and I just thought generally they're probably not as important as they were because people are not watching them. There's a lot of listening to music and even YouTube music or whatever. There's not that people are sitting there and watching a music video. It plays in the background for the majority of the time. I do think that they are important. I like anyone that I really care about. I enjoy watching their videos, and especially if I find them entertaining. I think like a true fan wants to know. Then there are those that are fans to just listening. I'm not saying that they're not true fans, but it's definitely there are those who want to know as much as they can, and then a music video is a beautiful way of showing what that song meant to us.
That's awesome. I remember as a kid, I really enjoyed watching, especially the artists I really had a lot of inspiration from. I used to love watching the music videos or even listening to live albums where they may play a song a little bit differently. I always really appreciated that. I'm
with you on that as a child and as a youth and whatever, to be inspired. Like I remember Kate Bush running up that hill when it came out, and I was so into that music video. There's a dance that she made and I had to learn it. I learned to do this dance because it inspired me so much and made me feel so alive. I wouldn't want to take that away from anyone, that possibility that I'll do this for someone that Kate Bush did to me when I was 15. I want to give that. I would never want to stop making music videos just for that.
In this day and age, how difficult is it for you to promote your music online with Spotify and Apple Music and all of those? Is that a difficult process? Is that simple? What's that like for you?
Well, the difficult part is that I really don't like doing all that. Like the business side, I wish I could just run off and have somebody else take over, but I can't. I mean, Isabel often says, I can't do it all. And so I need to take over certain things. And I'm learning more about the business side, which really all my life, I was just like, no, but I have no choice. I have to be part of it. We have had a lot of technical issues, it seems. This is a little bit of a disaster, but generally, yeah. I guess if you want to be like a musician and you want to do it, there's definitely ways. There is
it's marketing is all about money in the end. It's like how much money can you spend on having it put in the faces of people.
Whoever wants to do this needs to do research, unfortunately, or fortunately. If you love to research, this is your thing. Research of what companies, and like get feedback on what people's feedbacks are on places, and then hopefully that will help to be able to find the right people to help.
Well, that's good information. So we are running a little short on time, but one thing I do like to do is extend the courtesy to my guests. If there's something that you'd like to discuss, a project you're working on, a cause you believe in, something more about your music, I'd like to hand the floor over to you and discuss whatever you'd like to discuss for about a minute or two.
Thank you, Dan. Me or you? Me or you?
You start.
Okay, I'll start. Okay, so first of all, we wrote a musical, right? We wrote a 3-part musical for TV, and it's basically it's meant so that whoever the watcher walks out of that or is done with it thinking, oh my God, life is magical, and I am excited and I am inspired to live a happier or believe that I can have the things I want. So that would be our musical. It has 13 of our songs in it, and it's very uplifting. So we haven't really shopped it around. So if anybody's listening and would be interested to hear more, please contact us on our website, ourtruthmusic.com. And then the other thing is that we have a new song coming out. We make a music video for that because we love it. And keep an eye out for that. We will update always on our website. So whoever's listening and wants to know more, please join our mailing list. There's a beautiful little button on our website. Just push that and you will be updated on everything. And then the other thing is that every Wednesday, we've been doing this now, I guess like a month, every Wednesday at 2:45 Pacific Standard Time, we are on Instagram Live for a quick little hello, showering people with love and light, singing a fun one song, right? And then, and then leaving again.
Yeah, and I can just add, we are always working on something. I have a few blogs, and like there are all these ideas. I saw something else earlier this morning. We can talk about this, but there's always something happening, and it's always because I always feel like everything is for me, but for me means us because we are connected. So there's always this information that I'm getting, just so that I see a bigger picture, and I'm here to share it, and it's true for both of us.
Isabelle, Corinna, it's been awesome speaking today with you on Time We Discuss and learning about what it's like to be musicians.
Woohoo! Thank you.